I think we're gonna get started because, you know, before we know it, it'll be 10 after and then I'll have lost too much time. So I think we
Okay.
should get started.
Okay.
So I hope everyone found my review and homework page helpful. I'm gonna try and do one each week. Oh, before I forget, I'm gonna mention we do not have class next Friday because of Purim. So that just means you guys are gonna have to practice more on, you know, for a longer stretch on your own. But it doesn't necessarily mean you'll have any more homework because it's really a function of how much we get done today. So if there aren't, are there questions? Is anyone confused about something?
No.
Pretty straightforward? Good, okay. So I would like to start on page 14 of the book. Have you been following my suggestion, which is to sing Shalom Aleichem right before you start practicing reading?
Yes.
Good, wonderful. So that means you are very familiar with the second word of the prayer, Aleichem. So Shalom Aleichem, right? So the first word on the top of page 14 is Aleichem.
Okay.
And that starts with a silent letter. This letter, at the very first letter, is called an ayin, and it's silent. It's always silent. It's a silent consonant. And it's really only there as a place to place a vowel beneath it. So it's a placeholder or a hat rack to hang a vowel on underneath it. And in this case, it has the line, which I told you is batach, which gives it an ah sound, alechem. That's our target word. Everyone see that with me on the top of 14? Good, okay, and so, and if you were to go back to page 1, you know, or the song, right, Shalom Aleichem, it's the second word in the box of the prayer on page 1 of your book. So, with that in mind, that the ayin has no sound of its own and is just a placeholder for adding a vowel, we can see on line 1 of page 14, it's just a practice of our vowels, right? You got the E, A, O, right? Everybody see that? Good, wonderful. And on line 2, it's just adding a lamed sound, an L sound, following a vowel sound. So, eel, good. Right. So this is just examples of how to take the vowel with a L sound in your mouth and combine them, right?
What is the third one from the end?
Ol. That,
Ol.
yes, so that's the vav cholem, the letter vav with an O above it, and it sounds like O, as in foe, right? So,
Okay.
so you
So
get
this-
ol.
Does
It's-
the vav holem not ever stay at the beginning of a word on its own?
It will not be the first letter of a word, correct? That's correct. So,
Rachel,
but, yes,
of course, I came in late, but if you look at the second line, if you just could, for the third and the fourth, when you have el and then when you have the yud in the middle, does that change the pronunciation?
not at all.
Okay, that's what I find. Okay.
Right. It can be confusing. Basically, it does not change it at whether that yud could follow two dots, the A sound, and it's still just A, or it could follow where there's only one dot and it would be E. It's really, for our purposes, phonetic pronunciation, it's identical sounds.
Thank you.
Sure. Okay, so let's go down to line 4. Does anyone want to read? Okay, no takers. All right, I'm going to read, and I'm going to read well, does it confuse you if I read and you repeat? Does that bother everyone, or is it okay?
Okay.
I'll try
Okay.
it.
All right, so the first is al,
Ow.
aleche,
Okay.
alei,
Ale.
chem.
Hem.
And here's our word, alechem,
Alechem.
alechem,
Alechem.
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 So I pronounced it two different ways, alechem and alechem. Now, it's really alechem. So I mispronounced it on that second time, putting the emphasis not on, I shouldn't put it on the last syllable. I should put it on the second syllable, okay? Alechem, okay? Good.
Yeah.
Okay, hi, Rhoda. I'm not sure, can you hear me, Rhoda? Okay, can you, when you're ready, you unmute.
I'm on mute.
Okay, so we're on page 14. We just finished line 4, our target word.
Question. Question.
Yes.
You corrected yourself and changed the syllable. How do you know? Is there something that lets you know that accent is on the middle syllable?
Honestly, no.
Oh.
So I was pointing it out because I wanted to tell you guys that I had done it wrong,
Oh.
so that I don't confuse you.
And so what is it? What's the correct way?
On the second syllable, alechem,
Ale.
okay?
Okay.
So I was apologizing for my own mispronunciation. Can we skip down to line 6?
Okay.
So the first word was is the last word we learned last week, shalom,
Shalom.
right? And for everyone, I'll just repeat. So the first letter, the shin, has the SH sound. The dot on the right makes it sound like SH, as opposed to when we see this letter in the future, and it's going to sound just like an S, and that dot is not going to be on the right, it's going to be on the left. But here we remember she is always right. So the dot on the right tells us it's SH as in she. She is always right. So yes, I was saying that for the newbies to our class this week. So line 6 is our phrase, Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem. Okay, everybody feel comfortable with that? Good. Wonderful. Okay. Let's skip down to line 8. Line 8 is a good review of other words that we learned earlier and that you guys practiced. And I don't want to put you on the spot, but I do think I'll call on you shortly. So let's practice together. The first, starting with line 8, the first word. We'll read them.
Shalom.
Slow down for 1 second. So to me, this is 3 groups, 2 words in each group, right? They should be read together.
Okay.
Okay, so Shalom Aleichem.
Shalom Aleichem.
Malachei
Okay.
Malachi.
Amlachim. Got that? Okay,
Malachim.
good. And then the last one,
Okay.
Aleichem Shalom.
Aleichem. Shalom.
Okay, good. So let's see. Anita, will you read the first 2 words on line 8?
Shalom Aleichem.
Perfect. Jessica, will you read the second 2 on line 8?
Malachei
Okay.
Hamalach.
Okay, so very good. I'm not sure exactly. So the first one is maluche hamulachim. So those 2 dots mean you're going to give this little with that letter. Okay. You did it on the second one, hamulachim, but I wasn't sure if I heard it on the first one. Perfect. Good. And Rita, will you read the last 2 words?
I'd like to pass today.
Okay, sure. Linda, will you read the last 2 words?
Aleichem. Shalom.
Alechem.
Alechem.
Shalom. Right. There's 3 dots under the chaf.
Yeah.
So that's why it's the eh. Okay.
Alechem.
Yes.
Shalom.
Perfect. Exactly. Okay. Line 9. Now these are not 2-word combinations. These are individual words. They're a very good review again. Cheryl, would you like to read some of them?
Shalom, mi melech,
Melech,
ma,
Malach,
don't tell me. Maleche,
Maluche, Maluche.
Malach,
Perfect.
ma, no, ha, mal, kim,
So it's Hamalachim.
Hamalachim.
Malachim,
Got it.
and then shalom.
Perfect. There's two more words right below. Would you read those two? You're doing great.
Melech,
Melech, ha,
Malachim,
ha, yo,
Okay, this
Lam.
is a
Hi-
tricky one.
Ha-
Ha'olam.
Olam,
Ha'olam, right. The ayin has no sound at all. So you just give it the O. Ha'olam.
ha'olam. Okay.
Yes, you did great on that line. Really well.
Thank you.
Okay.
I have a question
Yes, of course.
on line 9.
Mhm.
Next to the last word, the 2 dots under the mem.
Is,
That's
Did
right.
we
That's
learn that?
yes. So that's the Shiva, and the way this book handles it, it's only this book going forward is only going to show us those 2 dots, which is considered a silent vowel when in fact it's not silent. So Hebrew has this is the weird quirk of Hebrew, unlike in English where we have lots of weird quirks, like the K in night isn't sounded and the GH together, and PH together, all those quirks. Here, these 2 dots, when we see them going forward, it's going to be this short sound, this UH, very short sound. So this is a Shiva. So as in, I don't know. They say buck, but to me, it's a shorter than buck. So it's a short vowel sound. So hamulachim, hamulachim. So you don't stop there. You kind of draw the M and that with it, together with the first syllable, hamulachim,
So
hamulachim.
it's like an
It's more of a like as opposed to right? I'm looking bright. I'm like that's not so good. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a weird one.
How
Let's-
is that?
Can we move to line 10? How about I read the first 3 words and then, so we'll do the first 3, then the second 3 together. I'll read, you guys repeat.
Melech,
Shalom, Melech HaShalom.
Shalom,
Melech
Melech,
HaShalom.
Good. Shalom, Am HaShalom.
Shalom, Hashalom.
Shalom,
Very good. And we'll do that again for line 11. Shalom, L'melech HaMelachim.
Shalom, Melech, Al-Malakim.
Okay, so the second one there, did you see I had to do L'melech, right? It's just
You're
not,
right.
right? I had to do that, that's the short one, all right? And it's gonna come again, the last 2 words, L'melech HaShalom.
The Melech,
Melech,
Shalom.
Shalom,
Good. Okay, now we're gonna go to page 15. Malache, that's our target word. And we have a new letter, the last consonant that's silent, which is the aleph, which I'm sure you all know, aleph bet. That's the first letter in the alphabet. And it turned into the name of the English alphabet, right? Aleph bet became alphabet. So this word, I'm going to go back to our song. Shalom Aleichem Malachi. So this is our 3rd word in this song, right? This is our target word. And it happens twice in the first line. Shalom Aleichem Malachi Hashare Malachi Elyon. So we just learned the ayin for Elyon, but we'll come back to that. So our target word, Malachi. So Aleph. Aleph is just like ayin insofar as it has no sound of its own. It never has any sound of its own. It's a vehicle for a vowel, but you often see it at the beginning of a word for whatever reason. And it's a very well, it comes up a lot. The letter Aleph happens a lot. So I don't think we need to read line 1 because I know you guys are comfortable with those vowel sounds. But so let's look at line 2. And here they give us a consonant that nobody likes, right? The chaf sofit, the ch at the end of a word, right? So you got ich, ich, ich,
Ich,
eich,
Yeah.
eich.
ich,
Now you get ech, och,
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 Oh.
ach,
ach.
ach. Okay, very good. The third line is kind of more of the same, except so to me, what the third line is showing you, it throws in that final chaf in the fourth word and the fifth word, but then in the sixth word, that's that same chaf, but not in its final form. You guys remember that letter?
Yep.
Mhm.
Okay, so let's start. Let's do line 3. Ah,
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 Okay.
ah, and you get hey.
Okay.
Okay, and then you're gonna get ache,
Okay.
and then ache 2 more times.
Okay.
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 Okay, everyone comfortable with that?
Yep.
So this is a good reminder of how that kaf has 2 different forms depending on where it appears in the word. The fourth line, they're not really introducing us to anything fancy or different. So let's do the fifth line. And it's a combination of what we just did. Ah, hey,
Okay.
ache,
Okay.
mal,
Okay.
malache,
Malachi.
malache. Okay, so I want you to focus on the last 2 words of line 5. And what I want you to look at is it's malache, right? Malache. So the first syllable in this word is the first 2 letters, the mem and the lamed. They come together, mal, as one syllable, okay? Because there's no dots under that lamed, no vowels going on. And then the second syllable is just the aleph by itself, which is the next ah sound. So this word has 3 syllables. And the final syllable is the chaf and the yud, the che. So it's malache, okay? I point that out to you because that helps your mouth understand that you're bringing the M and the L sound together, mal, and you're saying the ah, and then the che, right? And that's the word malache, malache. And that's our target word. So that's great. If we go back to the box on page 1, we now have 2 lines under malache, malache. And we're really zooming along in terms of how many words we know in the song. So excellent practice, however, are lines 7 to 12 on this page. Lines 7 to 12, I believe, are all actual words. They're not just letter combinations, they're real words. So I don't know if you guys want to mark it or put a box around it, but for future practice, rather than practicing every word, every letter combination on this page, these particular lines are very good. Why don't we do some of them?
Okay.
Is it okay if I call on you guys? It's good? All right. Rhoda, you're shaking your head. I like that. So can I call on you first?
Sure. So we're looking
Okay.
at line 7.
Line 7, yes.
Malachi, melech,
Perfect.
melech, malachi,
Yes.
hama. I have a problem with the I mean,
You're doing
hama.
great.
Okay, hamalachim,
Perfect.
maleche.
This is the one where I just was saying, if you think of the first 2 letters as the first syllable, it's malache.
Oh, that's so there it's, oh,
That lamed has nothing under it. So it's
no, I
going to just
know. Malache. So it's
malache, exactly.
malache.
There you go. You got that second ah, and then the che, malache.
Okay, Malachi. Okay.
Very good. You did really well. Okay.
Thank you.
Line 8. Edith, would you like to read?
Sure. Now I'm a little weary of the
I
sound.
know. That's okay.
Okay.
You do it. You do the
Mela.
best you can. I know down the road you're going to get it perfect.
Okay, Melech. Hold on, let me see. Melech. Hamalakem.
Team.
Kim. Hamalakem. Kim.
Yes. Yes, that's right.
Okay. Mala. Malachi.
Malache, yeah.
Melech.
Melech.
Malke. Malke.
Yeah.
Okay. Hamalakim.
Exactly. Hamalachim. Exactly.
Okay.
You're doing very well. You're just going slower. Don't push yourself. I mean, don't beat yourself up that you're saying it slower. You're pronouncing it correctly. Okay,
Well,
so
that K, trying to cough that K instead of just doing what sounds. I mean,
I
what
understand.
I'm used to.
I get it. I understand. It's okay. Let's see, line 9. Fran, will you read line 9?
Okay. Malachi melech ha'olam ha'olam
Right.
shalom lechem
Yes.
shalom alachim.
Alechem.
Alechem.
Alechem. Right. Very good. Really nice. Anita, will you read line 10?
I'm gonna pass on that.
Okay. Linda, will you read line 10?
Is there anything under the?
Yes, there's a ah. That should be shalom. Yeah,
Okay.
mine's got a
Mine's-
weird lump
yeah.
on it.
Yeah, okay. Shalom lechem.
Lachem.
Lechem.
Well,
Malach. Hey. Shalom.
Yeah.
Malach. Hey. Shalom.
Exactly. When you can see them, you do perfectly. It's just, I think, when you get smudges, you get lost. And I don't blame you. I got smudges too, so it's hard. Okay. Does anyone want to read who I didn't call on?
I'll read.
Okay. Yeah, Beryl, please. 11.
I read it. Shalom Alechem, Malachi Hashalom, Malachi.
Nope, don't get it.
No, me Melech,
There you go.
Hamlachim.
Very good. Right. Your eyes thought one thing, but your mind
My
said, no, no.
brain was
Yeah, exactly. That happens. Okay, very
remembering
good.
where it usually goes.
That's-
when I
nope.
heard.
I understand. Okay, I think we're good for 15. Let's turn the page. We're doing great. We're doing really well here. All right, so we're going to learn 2 new letters. So again, if we go back to our song, the 4th word, Shalom Aleichem Malachi Hasharet. That's our target word, Hasharet. Okay. So
I'm not with you. I'm looking for that page.
are you looking for page 16? I'm not sure what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm looking for page 16.
Okay.
Okay, I got it.
Okay, good. All right, so the word at the top, Hasharet. We need 2 new vowels. We know the shin, and we know the hey, the silent hey at the beginning, but we don't know the R sound, and we don't know the T sound. So the R sound is called a resh, and it's the 3rd letter of this word. So, and it always sounds like an R. It's very straightforward. So the first line, I'm just going to read quickly. Ro, ro, re, 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 ray, 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 ray. Okay, so I want to be sure you all remember the first 2 words on line 1, or the first 2 combinations, the row. So you've got it with the vav and the dot above, and then you have it without the vav and just the dot. You guys see that?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, you
Yes.
remember that? That's not new. Is that correct? You remember that?
Right.
Mhm.
Okay, good. I just wanted to be sure. So let's do line 2. The tricky thing here in line 2 is the 5th one is that mem sophite. So, but we'll read it and we'll get to it. So it's ray, ray,
Ray,
rech,
Rail,
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 ram,
Rame,
rame, and resh.
Race.
Okay, right. So the tricky one was that M sound, which is the M sophite, the second to last letter combinations of line 2. Let's see, what should we do here? Let's just keep going. We'll do line 3. Fran, would you like to do line 3?
Okay. Ray, hare, la ray, ma ray, share, 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 share.
Perfect. Yeah, it's really very straightforward. All right, let's do line 4 as well. Jessica, will you do line 4?
Sure. Share, sharer,
Yeah, yeah, Sharer.
sharel,
Yep,
sharam,
Rame.
sharesh, sharesh.
Exactly. So the A sound, the ray doesn't change, just depends on the vowel that your tongue is going to do at the end of it. Okay. Line 5 is all about putting a ha in front of what we just read. So hashare, hasharesh, hashare, hasharesh, hashare, hashare. Yeah, really very straightforward. Now line 6, we've got 2 word combinations. We have 3 of them. I think they're all the same. Malache, hasharei, malache, hasharei,
Malachi, Hasharai.
Here we go. Now, line 7, again, 2 word combination. They're identical. We'll do it once. Malache, hashalom. Malache, hashalom. Okay, so now lines 8 and 9 are really very much right from the prayer, right? Shalom Aleichem. So they modified that 4th word because we haven't learned the T sound yet, okay? But that's
Hasharai.
Hasharay without that T sound. So let's go to the top of page 17 and learn the T sound. This letter is a tough, and the only thing you need to know about this tough, you will see it without the dot and with the dot. When I was a youngster learning Hebrew, it meant something to have the dot or not have the dot. The sound of the letter changed. It doesn't anymore. So it will always sound like a T.
How does that happen?
It would see, right? It was like more Yiddish,
It
like
was a saf, right? It was a
I'll
saf,
just pronounce
right?
it
A taf and a saf, right? They don't do it that way anymore. So it's just a T for us, okay? And that's what's going to complete the word that we're learning, hasharet. And it's a very letter. It just sounds like a T. So you guys are not going to have any problem with it at all, I know. So let's see. Yeah, I like line 3 here, where they tell you that this one equals that one. That's very nice of them. And then they go on to T, T,
T,
T,
T,
T,
Tay,
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 Ta,
Ta,
Okay, so what's nice about line 3 is that they kind of give you the example that the 3rd combination where you have, oh, that's a bad example. Well, they should have done it differently now that I look at it. I like that they throw the yud in there. So the second TT with no yud, and then the 3rd combination TT with the yud. Same sound,
Yeah.
extra letter, okay? And then I like that on the last combination of line 3, they show you the vav with the dot over it as toe, but the second half is just the dot, and it still sounds like toe. Okay, so it's good practice for just seeing that these two sound exactly the same, even though they're written slightly differently. So let's keep going with line 4.
Root,
Let's
Okay.
see.
Okay.
Hey,
Can I call on some, is it okay if I call on some of you? It's good, yeah,
I'll
okay.
try it.
Okay, Linda, you want to try it? Sure,
I'll
go ahead with
try
line
it.
4.
Hey,
Yes,
plate,
yep,
mate,
perfect,
shate,
yep,
hate,
yes,
eight,
eight, eight,
eight,
yes,
hey,
Hate.
eight,
hate,
rate.
great, very good, exactly, okay?
How are you supposed to discriminate between the T and the A and the H?
Yeah, they look very similar.
You're saying that the way your printing shows up, you can't see that space? That is,
It's hard to see the difference between them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
then unfortunately, this book has been, copied and transmitted and but there's a very big difference between a hay and a toff. Yes, and so a hay, if you look at, I don't know if you have the homework page that I sent you handy, but I showed you the hay on the last word hamlachim that I typed as the 4 words we know on the homework page. So let's see this. It's too close. You're never gonna be able to see it, but it's this one, hamlachim here. So that hay is that little line, vertical line on the left side doesn't touch the top. Rhoda, yeah.
Yeah, if you look at page 7 and line 7 and 6, and you
Yeah.
go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, go in 6 letters.
Yeah,
And you have the ta, or whatever you call it.
the
And
top,
then
yeah,
below it, you have the H. So you can look at the
Oh,
difference.
yeah.
good. That's a good example. There you go. So the top where that leg
One
comes
is
down.
straight,
Well,
one
the-
is
no,
straight and one's wiggly.
yes, but the most important thing, in my opinion,
The
the difference between the
space.
tuff and the hay is that if you look at the tuff, so look at in the box and the top of page 17, the left-hand line that is like a leg coming down, it touches the very top. It touches the top of the letter and then it comes all the way down to its own foot, correct? If we turn back to page, give me a second, I'm gonna find it. If you turn back to page 10, turn back on your book to page 10 and look at the box at the top where it has the H. You see how that line on the left, it shouldn't touch the top at all. It's
Okay.
only about 2/3, not maybe only just over a half in terms of its distance from bottom to top. It never touches the top.
Right.
That's the hay. That's the hay sound.
And it's also straight, whereas with the tav, there's a little foot on there.
That's true, technically. That is correct. It has that little foot coming out, right?
Mhm.
You can see
Okay.
the foot more than you can see the space on.
Is
some
that
of them.
right? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there should not be a space. It should always be connected
Be
at the
separate,
top.
yeah.
Right. But, unfortunately, bad printing and whatever. But that foot at the bottom is a very good indicator too. That's an important indicator. So that's always the T sound. Okay.
Okay.
Good. All right. So, did we do? I'm sorry, I don't remember what we just did. Did we do line 7?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Either. Okay. Fran, would you like to do line 7? On page
Sha,
17. Yeah, perfect.
sha, shar, sharet, ha, share, ha, sharet, ha, sharet.
Okay, so now you, for whatever reason, you mostly pronounced those two dots as an A, but one time you pronounced it a little more as a eh. So it's rate. It's hasharet. You did it 4 of the 5 times or 3 of the 4 times, whatever it was. But anyway, hasharet is our word, and there it is. We have actually gotten to it. That's the exclamation point at the end of line 7. Okay, so now let's do the 2-word combinations on line 8. They are all the same, okay? Although they're not, I take it back. They're not all the same. So they're malache, hasharet, malache, hasharet, malache, hashalom. There we go, okay? So now, lines 9 and 10 are really right out of our prayer, right? Shalom Aleichem. We haven't learned the last word, elyon, of the first line. But then if we go to line 10 here, me, okay, that looks and sounds familiar, doesn't it?
Yep.
That's perfect. That's beautiful. Okay. So, did I not print the page? No, I did. Okay. I would like to, pages 18 and 19 of your book are pure review. Why don't we come back to them at the end of our class when we talk about homework? And let's skip to page 20, which is the beginning of unit 3 and our new target word, elyon. Is that okay with everyone? Feel comfortable with that?
Yes.
Okay.
We're
So-
zooming along.
Excuse me?
We're zooming along.
Well, let's take that approach and let's go for it. Why not? Okay, and I don't want to confuse you and I don't want to go too fast. But okay. Fran, are you finding the page?
Yeah, I went to try to print it, but I guess I didn't. Okay,
All right, are you okay? Page 20?
not yet, but I'm looking.
Okay.
No, for some reason, but I'll look on my phone. I'll look on my.
Okay, so as we were just singing, we got to the end of line 1 of the song, and on the previous page, they didn't print for us this word, our target word, elyon. But we know that's the word that we sing. Shalom aleichem, malachi hasharet, malachi elyon. Word is elyon. Okay, so in this word, we're going to learn a different usage of that little apostrophe type letter called the yud. So previously we learned the yud as part of our 2 vowels, the A and the E, right? And in that case, the yud really stood in as a vowel. The yud also has its own usage as a consonant. So that's where it's showing us here. If you look at the target word at the top of 20, elyon, we know that ayin, because we learned it and we know it's silent. We know the second letter is the lamed, the L sound. And then that yud is hanging there next to the vav cholem, the vav with the dot on top. So when this happens, the yud needs to have a sound to give that O something to go with. So in this case, when the yud is up here with a vav following it, it sounds like a Y. So this letter combination together, the yud and the vav cholem is going to be a yo sound because the yud comes up as a Y for us. Okay. So the target word is elyon. So again, the final letter of this word is that nun sofit, which we're about to get on the next page, but up to it. So 1, 2, 3, the first 4 letters of the word, of the target word, are el yo. Okay. So let's practice on page 20, line 1, this yud. So the yud is going to sound like a Y for these. So you have
It's gonna
yi,
be ye,
yay,
yeah,
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 ya,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yo. Okay, now here, they're going to put them together for us, line 2. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
yo, yo,
yo,
yo, yo,
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
yell,
yell,
Yellow.
yellow,
very good,
Yom.
yellow,
Low.
yellow.
Yom.
Okay,
Yeah,
now what they're showing us
Excuse
here,
me,
yes,
Rachel,
yellow.
the yud, is it, the Y is only pronounced if it's in the beginning of the word?
no, it's always,
Hell yeah, hell yeah.
no, it's pronounced, so the target word, the Y is in the middle of the word and it's pronounced as a Y, right?
And what did you say before? You said it has to have an O after as the next letter, or you didn't say that?
No, I'm just explaining that. So the issue, yud is confusing, honestly. When it appeared, so when it appeared before, after the A sound and the A sound, the tsare or the segol, it just modified them without changing them. It stands alone and sounds like a Y when it has a vowel under it itself. Okay. So we're building on, and
But
I'm not skilled enough to explain because I'm not an educated teacher. In other words, I wasn't taught to be a teacher,
Yeah.
and certainly I wasn't taught to teach Hebrew. I've just taken it for decades. So for our purposes, I think it will be very clear, particularly in a prayer book, how it's going to sound. Your ear will know what it's going to sound like because the words you come across are going to be really familiar. Okay, does that help a little?
Yes.
So you have to kind of just trust me, go with me on this a little bit, and it'll become clear.
Okay.
Okay, but so you see here, your question is a good one. So it is, they happen to use it at the beginning of so many words here on, or letter combinations and then words on page 20, right? So I'm trying, let's take line 8, for instance. Line 8, the word there is yom. That's an actual word, it means day. And the yud and the vav with the dot and the mem sofit, yom, that's a word. The word, after that, yamim, again, you have the yud with the yamim, that means days. That's the plural of the word day, yom, yamim. The next one is also a word. It's not just letter combinations. Mayim, mayim, that means water,
water.
okay? And now, on this one, so the aleph is silent, you just have the but the yud needs that Y sound, ayalot. Ayalot. Okay, you see that? And again, so Cheryl, to your question a little bit, you wouldn't have two silent letters next to each other. There's no point to that, the aleph and the yud. The yud is not silent. The yud is a Y sound in that fourth word on line 8. And then the opposite a little bit, the last word on line 8, Ya'arot, right? Ya'arot. So the ayin is completely silent. You just have the ah sound, but you have that Y there. It has to sound like something. So you give it that Y, Ya'arot, okay?
It's not y'all.
No, it's not ya, because the yud has nothing under it. Oh, you're saying if you combine it for a
Combine it with that, yeah.
Yeah, I think in this case, you don't, because that means that ayin has no purpose of being there at all. So the yud has to have its own sound so that the ayin represents the ah sound. So you give it a y-a-rut.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's see. Let's go down line 9. This is a tricky one. The first, let's not do the first one on line 9. Let's do the second one. Yosh.
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 Okay. So if that's Yosh, and the
Mhm.
third one is Yol.
Yo.
Yol. Let's go back to the first one on line 9. And what's that?
Yo.
Yo.
Yoke.
Yoch. Exactly.
Yoke.
Yo.
Okay.
Yoke.
And then, so let's jump to the fourth one on line 9.
Yom.
Yo.
Yom.
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 That means day again. That's the word day. Okay.
Yeah.
Now let's do line 10. Line 10, I think the reason they're doing this, they're giving us the differentiation of that ayin is completely silent, as opposed to when we get to the yud, that's going to sound like the y. So that line 10, the first 2 letters, L.
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 Okay, then
El.
L. Yo.
Yo.
El yo, El yoch,
Yo.
L.
Yom.
El yom.
Yom.
Good. Okay. So the top of page 21, this is the last sound we need for the word elyon, the N sound. So this letter, the nun sofit, this particular version of the letter nun, which sounds like an N, this is when it's at the end of a word. And it's going to fall, it's going to hang down below the line. Okay, it starts at the top of the line, but then it's long enough to hang down below the line. It's the final N of the word, elyon. So I don't know if there's anything tricky about what's going on the first line. So maybe we should, is there a question? No? Okay, I want to point out the difference between how this nun sofit looks versus how a final chaf looks. If you look over, go back to page 20, line 3, the second letter, the second word or letter combination. You see, that's a yoch, that's the final chaf. You see how it has
Long ahead.
yeah,
And
it's
then the
hard to
top.
describe, but it has like that swirl at the top left corner and then it goes down below.
Mhm.
If you look then in the box for the nun sofit on page 21, this one is much shorter in its left top corner, yes? It's a shorter version, right? And also it has a little bump out as it goes down where the vertical and the horizontal meet, whereas on the chaf sofit, it's really just straight. So you see those minor distinctions? Okay.
Isn't the final nun longer?
I don't think it is longer. I think they're the
Oh.
same length technically when
Okay.
they're typed on a line. They both fall
Okay.
below the line to the same extent.
Okay.
It's really the shortness of the top left-hand part, left-hand horizontal part of the nun versus that's longer on the chaf sofit. That horizontal piece, that's much longer. Okay. They're little distinctions, they're important. I think you'll get used to them. I'm going to see if there's any that jump out at me. These are all, so the ones we're going to practice here on page 21, these are all nun sofits. So line 1, the second combination is chen, right? Chen,
Okay.
the N sound. Then the third is
Lean.
then mean,
Mean.
sheen,
Sheen. Roll.
pain,
Pain.
pain, and hen.
And.
Okay, so let's look across that line 1. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The seventh combination that's the tain, right? You see the tough, that's the T sound. Then the next one, that's the hay, the H sound again. So do you see
Hay.
those two letters next to each? You guys see the difference, in those two letters, yeah?
Oh,
T sound versus the hay sound.
not really.
You don't see the difference?
Which, wait, I lost you.
Okay, I'm on page 21, line number 1.
Oh, one, okay, all right.
Line number 1, as you go across to the left, so we go.
Yeah, I was on the wrong line, okay.
The
yeah.
seventh, starting with the seventh combination, the seventh and eighth, the difference between the tough, the T sound, and then the hey, the H sound.
Yeah,
You see those two different letters? Okay,
Yes.
I just wanted you to take a minute to focus on those two different letters. All right, let's do line 2. So
Main.
this is nice. The first word is amen, which sounds to you right at the end of a prayer when we all say amen,
Amen.
right? Amen. So it's amen. And then the third and the fourth is yamin, yamin, amen. Okay. The next two together, ain, ain. And that actually is a real word in Hebrew. Ain means like none. I don't have ainly. I don't have. Ain not. Okay. And then Shane
Shane.
and Sheen.
Sheen.
Okay. Yep. Let's do line 3. Why not? How's our time? Oh, we need to speed up a smidgen so I have time to give you some homework too. Let's do line 5.
Yeah.
L
L.
L
L.
L
L.
Yon
Yon.
L
Yon.
L Yon.
Yon.
Good. So that's our target word. We've reached it. We've accomplished it, right? So if we go to lines 8 and 9, would you like to sing or would you like to read?
I would
Sing.
say,
Okay, we're going to sing lines 8 and 9. Okay?
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Shalom
Aleichem. Aleichem. Shalom.
Malachim
Elyon.
Melech Malachim. Good. That's how much you know. You've learned all of that. I think that's fabulous. So that means we've learned, I think, more than half of technically the prayer, if given how many things repeat on the prayer, right?
right.
Okay, so here's what I would like us to do. So we're gonna stop here. I'm gonna put a marker on my book right now so I know where we pick up next week. Oh, so we don't have it next week, where we pick up in 2 weeks. In the meantime, I'm gonna, if you don't mind, continue to add on to the homework page I sent you. In other words, I won't send you a fresh one. I will send you this with my additions to it. So that way you'll always have everything together. I hope that's okay for you.
Yes.
And I'm going to point out, as we just talked about a minute ago, that if you look at page 18 and 19 of your book, this is a wonderful, wonderful summary, honestly.
Rachel, can I make a suggestion though? When you add to it, you start a new page. So we
Sure.
don't keep having to print out the same information, so that the next one will be a third page of what you just did. Okay.
I can do that. Absolutely. So page 18 and 19, it shows you in the box on page 18 all the letters you've learned. It nicely tells you that you've, in the middle sub box, as it were, that you've got the chaf, and its final version, the Chaf Sofit, and you got the Mem and the Mem Sofit. So that's really nice. They show them right there to you. And then they show you in the third box over the Resh, the Shin, and then the Taf with and without that dot in the middle, but it's still pronounced as the T. So that's nice. They've got all those letters for you there.
Mhm.
And that's, you've learned all of those up to this point. And then what I like also, how they've put in the lines going down, the numbered lines, 1 through 13 on page 18 and 1 through 19 on page 19. They show you they're focusing on the Aleph, because they show you in that first column, the Aleph, then the Ayin, then the Hey, the Resh, the Shin. So they really point out for you the letters they're having you work on. And I think it's just a good visualization for you to get accustomed to those letters and the different versions of those letters, particularly when they have a final version, the Mem and the Mem Sofit, the Chaf and the Chaf Sofit, which are on page 19. So I think I had previously pointed out page 11 and maybe even 13 are also really good. Yeah, page 11 was also a good review, but at this point, I don't even think you need to go back to 11 because they re-summarize it on 18 and 19. So that's really nice. Okay. Questions? I wish we had class next week. I get it. It's Purim. Okay. We could have raised a glass together. I get it. It's fine.
Yeah, fermentation or two.
I'm thinking this year I may actually make hamantashen here at home, which I only ever make them at the synagogue, but what the heck? I got a kitchen, I got flour, I can do that. I can't think of anything else. Everybody, just keep practicing, truly. Don't give up. 20 minutes a day, you guys are going to be in great shape. I will send the link for today's video along with the homework page. Is that
Wonderful.
okay?
Thank you very much. That'd be great.
Yeah.
And now the Zoom login, is it today? I put in what I put in the last time and it put me to another one. Is it?
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know why, but it worked. So it doesn't matter. I mean, I got in.
How about if I put the Zoom link with this email
I
I'm
think
going to
that's
send
really
to?
a good idea.
I do. That's a good idea. It's the
Okay.
easiest for everybody. Then you won't have to go back to some
That's exactly it.
old,
'Cause I have to
old.
go back and figure out where I had it.
Yeah, no, perfect.
Yeah.
I will.
I
I have a
too.
quick question.
Sure.
Thank you.
When I printed it out, I have the 2 pages together.
Yeah.
Is that how everyone got it,
Yeah.
or did
Those of
anyone
us-
get it?
those of-
Okay,
Those of us who have the PDF, yes, some have the
Okay.
book, and I think the book has a single page, not a
Exactly the
double.
same on the book.
because I thought maybe if I could print it in a single page, it would be bigger and clearer.
You're working from the same thing I'm working from. That's all I
Okay.
have.
Okay.
And in fact, this version is better. So I have believe it or not, a teacher's guide. The teacher's guide is terrible. It's
Oh.
really hard to read. It's like this guy printed it on an old manual typewriter. I don't know. It's terrible.
Oh,
So I skim it and then I put it away because it's not very useful. All right,
okay,
ladies.
well, thank you.
Thank
a
you very
lot,
much.
and
Have a
happy
great day,
Purim.
everybody.
Happy
Thank you.
Purim.
Happy
Shabbat
Purim.
shalom.
Shalom.
I hope the weather
Shabbat
gets
shalom.
better for everyone.
Thank you.